Following Wednesday's massive blast in the Chinese port city of Tianjin, 40 family members of firefighters still missing held a protest outside the local city hall to ask officials for information on their missing relatives. The death toll from the two massive explosions has risen to 112, with 95 people missing, according to the Xinhua news agency. President Xi Jinping urged authorities to improve safety and learn lessons from the tragedy, after reports indicated that the use of water to douse flames by fire crews may have contributed to the blast. The family members said the government has failed to provide details on contract firefighters sent to extinguish the fire before the two massive blasts occurred.
Several days have passed. I don't even know if my son is still alive or dead. The government won't give us any information at all. The only information of firefighters, who aren't contract firefighters, is on television, but nothing about our farmers' sons, who came here for work. Not even one piece of information is released on television. You just want to ask them what on earth happened to them.
420 migrants disembarked in the port of Augusta, Sicily, as Italian coastguards continue to coordinate rescue operations in the Mediterranean. While some 2,000 migrants were rescued in other operations this week, there were at least 2 major fatal incidents involving migrants attempting to cross the Mediterranean. On Tuesday, up to 50 migrants went missing when a large rubber dinghy sank. More than 2,300 people fleeing war and poverty have died this year in attempts to reach Europe by boat, well above the number from last year, the International Organization for Migration confirmed. Meanwhile, in the Greek island of Kos, hundreds of Syrian migrants began boarding a passenger ship that government officials says is meant to house and process them. Migrants from countries other than Syria have been turned away, leading to tensions and flare-ups in the overcrowded and poorly resourced camps. Nearly 250,000 migrants have crossed the Mediterranean to Europe this year, about half of which have gone to the Greek islands.
This morning in the Gaza Strip, the Palestinian Ministry of Health held a press conference where they called upon the Egyptian government to open Rafah border and allow medical supplies to enter the Gaza Strip, and also convoys of doctors to enter the Gaza Strip in order to somehow help the health sector in Gaza. They also warned of a great crisis as the hospitals in the Gaza Strip are suffering a severe lack of fuel that helps in generating electricity for the hospitals, at the same time the severe lack of medical supplies and medicine. Meanwhile, the Egyptian government decided to open Rafah border for 3 days starting from tomorrow. However, it will be only for people to leave the Gaza Strip and enter the Gaza Strip. There will be no aid or convoys entering the Gaza Strip.
U.S. presidential hopeful Bernie Sanders called for a political revolution in American politics during a campaign stop in Iowa on Saturday. The left-leaning senator, who calls himself a democratic socialist, has been drawing significant support for his message of change to benefit the working class in the United States. Sanders also spoke in favor of gay marriage and a woman's right to choose, while also saying he will end the institutional racism in the United States and bring about major criminal justice reform. He also challenged the Republican candidates on Social Security and blasted the super wealthy, saying they would have to pay their share of taxes.
If we are going to transform America, if we are going to have a government that represents working families and not large campaign donors, we need a political revolution in this country. We need millions of people to stand up and make it clear to the billionaire class they cannot have it all. They are going to start paying their fair share of taxes.
Hundreds of Black Lives Matter activists rallied outside the White House in Washington, D.C. to protest against racial profiling, unlawful arrest, and the killing of African Americans throughout the United States. Under the name Blackout DC, the march led to Capitol Hill, with activists blocking highways along the way. Black Lives Matter activists have also been targeting U.S. presidential candidates on the campaign trail, leading to Democratic Party's frontrunners to release positions on addressing violence against black people by law enforcement.
The Caribbean Tourism Organization has called for regional and international backup to deal with an influx of sargassum seaweed affecting tourism on several islands, including Grenada, Barbados, and Trinidad and Tobago. Visitors turn away from the beaches, unable to deal with the mountains of seaweed and unbearable stench. In St. Lucia, the seaweed is also impacting fisheries, agriculture, and the daily lives of residents. The seaweed invasion has been an annual problem, but experts say it is fast worsening.
It's clear that oxygen is being deprived, and it's going to impact the mangrove community as well. And the mangroves are very important nurseries, particularly for lobster.
The east coast of St. Lucia is under siege from the invasive seaweed. The island's agriculture and fisheries minister says the island's fishers and a number of coastal developments are being threatened. Seaweed is also clogging up the engines of fishing vessels. He says his ministry is doing what it can to contain the problem.
This infestation of seaweed is the worst that we have seen in the Savans Bay area. This probably extends over 600 meters from the shore, and we can actually witness a number of animals, sea crabs, we see fish. A lot of animals are attempting to break the surface to, I guess, get whatever oxygen they can get, and a number of them are dying below this blanket of seaweed.
Environmental health officials have warned that the impacts of the seaweed situation are both instant, such as the vermin and flies, and long-term, and there can be health issues if it is not contained soon. The Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association, CHTA, has published a guide to help countries deal with the problem. It includes measures for clearing beaches and suggestions for the use of the seaweed in agriculture. Alison Kentish, De La Sur, St. Lucia.
According to reports, the International Association of Athletics Federations suppressed a 2011 survey that reveals up to 1/3 of the world's top competitors admitted using bank performance-enhancing techniques. The study, which was carried out by researchers at the University of Tübingen in Germany, showed that between 29 and 34% of the 1,800 competitors at the 2011 World Championships in Daegu, South Korea, had violated anti-doping rules in the previous 12 months. The researchers were told to sign a confidentiality agreement a month after collecting the information and analyzing it.
Facts that have marked the course of history. Productions designed in the English language and made for the English-speaking world. This is Documentary. Watch it on telesur.net/English. Telesur, wherever the news, you'll be there.